Hello, Mustang basketball fans, and welcome to another edition of Mustang Basketball with Brad Bigler here at Studio One and online at smsumustangs.com. I'm your host, Kelly Loft, Athletic Communications Director at Southwest Minnesota State University. And again, we're going to talk Mustang men's basketball as the Mustangs welcome in the new year with a couple of games this past weekend at the RA facility, beating Wayne State before losing to Augustana College. We'll talk a lot about those games and preview this week's game versus Upper Iowa and Winona State. With us is the head coach for the Mustangs, Brad Bigler. And first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. We've been off for a couple of weeks here, and you guys had a break mandated by the NCAA of up to about 8 days or so after the tough loss to Sioux Falls on the road on December 20th. You get the break, you come back home now, Coach. And split last weekend, obviously not exactly what we wanted, but played pretty good games. Just a team played really well in Augustana on Saturday.
Yeah, you have to give them a lot of credit. Their role players stepped up and made shots. And anytime that your top guys are held a little bit down, and especially at halftime, those other guys stepped up and made plays, and that was a big part of the game.
Yeah, the Mustangs opened up the weekend beating Wayne State 83-65. Mustangs shot very well from the field, really the entire weekend, but on Friday night, 53%, made 9 3-pointers, really out-rebounded, did a great job on the boards, out-rebounded Wayne State 36-23. The next night against Augustana, Mustangs again shoot very well, Coach, 51%. You made 11 3-pointers, incredible high number, but Augustana very solid as well, 14 threes, and they really used that, and then also their inside game rebounding. That was kind of the difference in the contest.
And coming out of break, our focus really was to get our offense kind of cleaned up a little bit. Those last 6 games going into break, we were really trying to focus a little bit more on defense. We were making a lot more plays on the defensive side of the basketball, but we really needed to do some simple things better on the offensive end, and that's what our focus was coming out of break. So we probably could have spent a little bit more time on that defense, because obviously last weekend we scored the basketball high clip. We did make those improvements, but defensively we probably took a step backwards. So we need to get that back to where it was.
Just look at some of the numbers against Augustana. You take 18 assists and 6 turnovers and 11 3-pointers every game you play. Some incredible numbers that are great offensively. On the defensive side, as you mentioned, Augustana was at a very good clip. The one thing that we should mention, and I went back through the records back to 1998, never saw this, but didn't shoot a free throw. And, that's pretty incredible. And through all the years that we've had now, since you've been here at Southwest, we've never had a game where we have not attempted a free throw in the game. And, obviously we're not going to talk about if there should have been fouls or whatnot, but that probably could lead to a lot of things, maybe settling for jumpers maybe at some times, or just maybe Augustana's ability not to foul. How do you explain not shooting a free throw in the game?
It was just kind of an odd thing that happened. Our offense is designed to attack the rim. We get 1-2 paint touches every possession. We are very aggressive at putting the ball on the floor. And there's opportunities where we could have maybe finished through some contact, but it's just kind of one of those things that happened. I don't know how big of a factor it was in the game, but definitely something that's like right now, it's something to talk about, just because it's a unique thing that just never happens.
Well, again, on Friday night against Wayne State, the Mustangs get 4 players in double figures, a balanced attack. Joey Bartlett had 17 points for the Mustangs. MJ Delmore, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and really played extremely well. Coming off the bench now, you made a slight change again. Talked about this for a long time, that the starters are really not that big a deal, because you try to get your rotations lined up middle of the game, and then that's going to lead into the second half.
And that's the truth. We it's all, for me, it's all about lineups, about rotations, and putting groups out there that play well together. We rotate pretty quick, so that first 18 minutes, at the 18-minute mark, we have guys coming in already, and our guys have bought into that, and it's part of our system. It's a part of the unselfish basketball that we want to be about.
And again, the Mustangs with that win, 83-65 over the Wildcats, and then fall to Augustana on Saturday, 96-77. And you talk about the lineup change that you had, and obviously offensively worked very well. But what were some of the things you mentioned defensively? Maybe we struggled at things, but what are some of the the keys that you're trying to tighten up this week in practice that you think teams maybe are trying to exploit against the Mustangs?
Well, when someone has a talented big guy inside, you have to have the option of doubling them. And that was something that we worked on last week. It was something that we haven't shown most of the year with structure. And so going into the game, we kind of had a game plan of how to get the ball out of the post. Unfortunately, we made a lot of mistakes. We were not only doubling with one guy, but we were doubling with two guys at times, leaving shooters wide open and not having any rotations. So that's something that we have already this week have worked on in practice. I've already improved on it. I've addressed it. I've watched it on film. And so we're better. We're way ahead of where we were at last week. And it's just one of those things. When you're adding new things, we have to be better at carrying it over from practice to the games. And that's the other thing I would comment on is our Saturday games. We have to do a better job with our game plan of carrying over through the week into those Saturday games. Fridays we've been pretty good. We've executed well. We've done things. We've taken things away. Saturday, that quick turnaround with this group, we need to be better.
Well, again, not only defensively, you look at certain things, Coach, obviously Augustana shot very well, 56%. They got 11 offensive rebounds. So there's times you got stops. And if we get some of those defensive boards, it changes the whole complexion. And some of the stats that I think are kind of important, we always talk about points off turnovers, but second chance points, Augustana had 17 against Wayne State. You gave up just 7 second chance points. And you talk about a 10-point swing. That's a big difference in winning or losing your game. And also, it's just that mentality, like, oh, we got to stop. Oh, no, they get the old board. And that's, again, just being in the right positions and reading those rebounds. And give Augustana credit. They made some plays, but, you get the stops, but it goes all the way through the possession and get the rebound.
And sometimes that's not only just the big guy. Sometimes they're shooting from long. There's long rebounds. You have to be able to anticipate and chase those rebounds down. And they had a few of those as well. But yeah, finishing possessions is a big key stat, and finishing possessions with a key stat is getting those rebounds. And I thought on Friday night our guys were really aggressive at attacking the boards. That's something that we're starting to make more of an emphasis on is attacking the offensive glass. Our guards were being more active and getting in there and making plays. Saturday night, for whatever reason, we reverted back to kind of where we were before, not being as active, not having 3 or 4 guys going to attack those boards. And that's a discipline thing. We just need to get more reps in practice and continue to, buy into why we're doing it. And again, no different than Augustana. We want to get offensive rebounds. We want to get more possessions. And I think we'll be harder to guard when we attack the boards harder.
Well, speaking of offensive rebounds, on Friday night, Carter Kirk had 5 offensive rebounds. He had 2 on Saturday. And, obviously he's in the starting lineup and he plays a lot of minutes, but you can just see him getting more comfortable. His first couple of possessions against Augustana, really aggressive against one of the best players in the conference, in Daniel Jansen. He wasn't shy right off the bat. Got a couple of baskets, and you really see him just getting older here throughout the year and getting better. And I think that's probably the case for all these young guys. The more we play now, you really can't use that. We're freshmen much anymore because they're getting up there now 15, 20 games into their college careers.
And once they get into those heated moments, those tough games, playing talented teams, end-of-game situations, the more of those that we can get, the better. As you saw on Saturday, Carter went right at Jansen, and Jansen's a very talented player. So look, by no means did Carter, get the better of him or anything like that. He made a couple positive plays, and that was good to see him step up to that challenge. Over the weekend, I did think Carter rebounded the basketball well. He chased down some long rebounds. He chased down rebounds in traffic and came down with them. And then on the offensive end, he made some plays. So now he's showing progress, and he's a guy that in the end of the year, we want him to be a big factor.
Well, we're going to take a look at the highlights from this past weekend. We start off with Wayne State from the RA facility. Again, the Mustangs in the white uniforms here on this opening night, and nice start for Southwest. There's a 3 by Joey Bartlett. And really the Mustangs, right off the bat, Coach, starting off Martin here with a couple of back-to-back threes.
Yeah, and you see us just getting out of traffic. That's something that we're going to work on here as we go to finish. We're such a better offensive team when we have tempo, when we can get out and move a little bit, make some plays. And as you see us, when we keep the pressure on the defense, we want to make them have to defend not only laterally, but up and down, defend their space, our spacing, and really put them in some situation where they have to help out on the driver or they have to guard that three-point line.
Mustangs do it here on the defensive end, get a steal in transition. Cole Martin stops and makes that extra pass, and Joey Bartlett with the layup. Again, Bartlett in the ball game, 17 points. Struggled, later on with the shot. Just finished 7 of 17, but did hit a couple of three-pointers. And driving again here is we talked about Carter Kirk,
and that's and maybe that's something that we need to install in the offense a little more. Just those catches in the middle. That's a strength of his to be able to go and finish. As you see right here, a nice backdoor cut by Travis. All night long, the spacing was better. Those types of things right there are created because of good spacing and making them have to defend different levels of the defense or offense. And Mitch Wegg, good effort. MJ with kind of the flashy behind the back pass.
Well, you see so much how important it is to move without the basketball. And you saw Travis Minders take advantage of that and got open. And they're the Mustangs on that old board. And there's Mitch Wegg with the foul or the basket. It was a tough hit by Cole Martin.
And Cole Martin and Joey early in the game were in rhythm. And sometimes when they're in rhythm, we need to let them go a little bit. Right here, there's a mismatch, and Joey goes up with the dunk. Good secondary action or good action to the rim by Turner Moan. Again, just those simple things. They're right here, this play. Drive, kick, get in there, one-on-one, finish. And that was a good aggressive take by Turner.
Mustangs again in the first half shot 50%. Wayne State shot 44%. Mustangs, though, with a big 44-26 halftime lead.
What I liked about this weekend, we saw a little bit more zone this weekend. I thought our discipline and patience was good, as you see right here. Not only are we going to knock down threes, but we have the ability to get in and get easy buckets. And we're going to have to keep that up because teams are going to change it up on us throughout the year. And when we do see those zones, we have to be able to attack it aggressively.
Cole Martin had 12 points and 4 assists with that basket. Now here's a great job. We talked about the offensive rebounds. The Mustangs 12 old boards, led the 10 second chance points, and able to take advantage of it was Mitch Wegg. Here's a 3 blocked, but the Mustangs fortunate. Carter Kirk, the old board, scores off the 3-point.
And in this second half, there's another zone example, just our ability to knock down the open three, but to move the basketball. Again, you're going to see a lot of paint touches in the second half versus Wayne, whether it's with the post, but really off the drive like this. This is a good individual play by Travis with the end of shot clock. Mm-hmm. But as we get going here, really putting a lot of pressure, as you see it. The question earlier about our offense, we want to get paint touches. We want to really get that drive and kick type action, and that's what our offense is designed to do.
And pull up there for Bartlett from 10 feet. Off the pass from Hewitt. And Bartlett driving baseline and finds that open man, and MJ Delmore has 3 3-pointers in the game, and he connects from long range. And now we'll find another opportunity here where the Mustangs get a wide open 3 from the corner.
And this lineup was good with MJ, Cole, Turner, Mitch, and Joey. They were plus 17 on the night as a group when they were on the floor, and it really sparked us a lot of ways offensively. But here you see us getting a defensive stop off the end out, a steal. We're going to come down, and again, sometimes it's just making that simple pass, right there, moving around, cutting through, and now I will say that was a little bit difficult of a shot, but when you're in rhythm, a lot of times those shots are a lot easier to make.
Again, Mustangs finding the open man, MJ Delmore with the corner 3 off the pass from Moen. And Cole Martin gets into the act here. He'll drive to the rack.
Good aggressive take. That's the way to finish through the contact.
He rolls up here in the final couple of possessions here. Joey Bartlett on the bottom of your screen. He'll score. And then Nate Hewitt finishes off this ball game with the 3-pointer, 1 of 9 for the Mustangs.
Kicked out here, extra pass, and the bench loves seeing Nate make those shots.
So the Mustangs win that ball game 83-65 to improve to 9-4 overall and 5-2 in conference play. But the next night, number 13 team in the country, Augustana, comes to town, and it was a big one, Coach, because South Division game, a chance to be up there with the leaders with Minnesota State and Augustana. And again, Augustana kind of pulled away there late in the first half, and you kind of look at the stat sheet and you kind of wonder, boy, how are we down 12 points or so? I don't think, as you always say, things aren't as great as they always seem, and they're not as bad. And that's probably a great example because you look back at the film now, and there's obviously things, as we touched on earlier in the show, that you need to correct. But there were some positives from Saturday's game against Augustana as well.
And I've said this a lot of times. If you were to tell me at halftime we're shooting 50%, have 3 turnovers, only 3 turnovers, and their two of their top 3 scorers have a combined 4 points, and you told me that they were winning by 12, I probably would say you're crazy. That's probably a lot closer a game. If not, we're winning. And but that's the funny thing about basketball. When your best guys aren't maybe scoring, you have other guys that are stepping up and making shots. Give Odegaard a lot of credit for knocking down those open threes. That's something he can do. It's not a shock that he did that, but definitely. We were wanting those other guys to make shots, and those guys were doing it.
Yeah, Tanner Odegaard for Augustana came off the bench, made 4 of 5 from three-point range. He entered the game with 7 total field goal or 7 three-pointers all season long, but I'll give him credit. He was open, and he made the shots. Mustangs trail 47-35 at half, and then lose 96-77. We'll take a look at the highlights from the game from the RA facility. The Mustangs in the gray uniforms here, going right to left, and we talked about the nice start by Carter Kirk. There's his first basket, and then he follows it up right here with the left hand, and the Mustangs are up 4-0.
Just good body movement. The one thing Augustana was trying to do to us all night is they were trying to deny our ball screens, and as you're going to see, there's a lot of straight line drives because of that. So there's some positives that maybe we can't get the ball reversals, but sometimes when teams will deny those ball screens, it will give us a lot of straight line drives and action to the rim, which allowed us to get a lot of easy buckets.
Turner Moen from the left wing drills that three-pointer. Turner with 12 points. He had a couple of threes in the game.
Again, another example of zone defense and us being able to get easy buckets off the zone. Guys were good. I thought they shared the basketball well this weekend and moved that basketball, pick and choose when they scored. Right, you see here staying with it with the offensive rebound. Drew knocking down the open three.
And the second chance points there for the Mustangs. They had 11 in the game. Again, Southwest shot 50% in the opening half, 52 in the second. But the Vikings 51% shooting in their opening half and 61% in the second. When the Mustangs, they had an answer for every Mustang run, that's for sure. Here's Hewitt knocking down his lone 3 of the ball game. Good to see him going. If we can get him some shots, make 1 3 or 2 3-pointers a game, that really opens things up for the Mustangs.
And talking about open things up, and that's just an example. Every situation you can guard it differently. There's different philosophies. Theirs was to take that away, which our guys I thought did a great job of being aggressive and getting to the rim. Good ball movement here. Mitch is going to go to work here a little bit. And those fadeaways are going for him.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, he is he's kind of developing that craft of going to that fadeaway with the right shoulder. See here, Drew with a nice baseline drive to Carter for the dunk. Again, there'll be a theme here of just straight line drives, and that's again Turner Moen, straight line drive, finish. And that's sometimes you want less player movement when they're going to do that. That way it continues to keep those lanes open. Carter, nice pull-up three or pull-up jump hook.
Hey, Carter Kirk 5 of 8 in the game. Here's a great backdoor again. Movement away from the basketball, got open. Cole Martin, the beneficiary of that layup.
Anytime Joey or Travis are on the perimeter and we get drives and they're open, we need to find those guys. Those guys can knock down those shots. As you see here, MJ, nice drive and find for Mitch Wegg. Got a little lucky right here, but we'll take it.
Never apologize for those lucky bounces, that's for sure. There's a 3 left corner, big hit there for the Mustangs and Minders.
Good find by Drew to Travis in the corner.
Again, the Mustangs trying to make a run here, get it down to 9 in the second half, but the Vikings had an answer nearly every time. Osmondson fighting through there and scoring with the layup. Again, Mustangs just 6 turnovers in the game.
And one of those, was at the end of the game when MJ threw it to one of our guys that was open on the bench.
Yeah, that's true. But again, basically 6 turnovers, but the Vikings able to turn just those 6 into 10 points. So when there was a mistake, they were able to take advantage of it, and that's the key to winning these basketball games is just limiting the mistakes. And there's a 3. Go to the left wing. In Southwest, 11 three-pointers. About the 6th time, I believe, this year the Mustangs have hit double figures in three-point made. 3-point field goals made. Last year just had 2 games of making 10 or more three-pointers.
A lot of that just comes back to personnel. Guys, more shooters on the floor, more opportunities, and guys are also knocking down those shots.
Bartlett with the 3 off the pass from Hewitt. And Hewitt drives again underneath the Carter Kirk. He's got to go up quickly and gets it up and in. Again, the Mustangs just not able to rally back. Good effort. Fought down to the end. A reverse layup by Martin.
And as we go forward, there's some things that we're going to have to clean up defensively, obviously. Have to be better in the half court. Have to be able to throw some different zones, maybe even some presses. Right now, we're working on a practice this week of being able to get out and press a little bit if we needed to, and then zone as well. Sometimes the pressing thing is you got to have a deep team with 9 guys, active guys. That's sometimes it's a hard thing to go to. But when you're down late in the game, you have to be able to have that as an option.
Well, now with the scheduling the way it is, be the second and third opponents now that we played a second time. Sioux Falls, we played them twice in the month of December. Now we play Upper Iowa and Winona State, 2 teams that were in Marshall in early December. The Mustangs beat Winona State, but then on Saturday lost to Upper Iowa, and the Peacocks have now beaten Southwest twice in Marshall the last 2 years. But it's going to be a challenge, obviously, teams that know a lot about us, and we've already played them once, and it's going to be see who can make the right adjustments. But a big road trip coming up for you guys at Upper Iowa and at Winona State. It
is. The next 4 or 5 games are big. Going into this weekend, you have on the road, never an easy road trip for us. Both Upper Iowa and Winona have been successful teams, and teams that are going to be tough to beat, and we're going to have to play good basketball. No secrets behind that. And when it comes to Upper Iowa on the first night, a lot of similarities to the systems, but there's also some differences too. Those guys are when they are making shots, they're a tough team to beat. They really are. And defensively, they're competing more. They have a little bit more size, so they rebound a little bit better. They're a good team. And then you have to turn around, take that weavy and windy road all the way from Fayette to Winona, and that'll be a tough game as well, with Winona having one of the best players in Riley Bamnick in the conference.
Yeah, it should be a fun weekend for the Mustangs. Following this Friday and Saturday's games, we'll be back at home against Northern State and nationally ranked MSU Moorhead, a team that's lost just 1 time all season long. And, of course, the Wolves beat the Mustangs back in November in non-conference in Aberdeen. So should be a tough weekend coming up, obviously, for the Mustangs here against Upper Iowa and Winona, but be great to get a couple of wins and keep up there in the top half of the conference. Mustangs in 3rd place in the NSIC South and 5th place overall out of 16 teams right now at 5-3 in conference play and 9-5 overall. That's going to wrap up this week's edition of Mustang Basketball with the head coach, Brad Bigler. For the head coach, I'm Kelly Loft. Thanks for watching this week. Special thanks to you for watching. Special thanks to Adam Henning down here at Studio One for all his work, pushing buttons left and right, running around, doing a great job as always down here at Studio One. So again, for the coach, I'm Kelly Loft. Thanks for watching this week. Until next week, go Mustangs.